Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this week an unboxing for a game I've been monitoring for a little while now. It's a rebrand, slight rewrite with some amendments, and I suppose you'd call it perhaps a deluxe version of Waterloo 1815 Fallen Eagles 2 from Hexasim. Game design is Walter Vedovsky, and as I say, this was a game brought out quite a few years ago, had quite a strong following. It was one I had looked at various times, but I do have a number of Waterloo type games, such as Quelle Fair. I have Napoleon Returns, and I also have the C3I Waterloo magazine game as well, and I believe I may well have another one kicking around somewhere as well. So yes, Waterloo, obviously a firm favourite for most Napoleonic gamers, although I must admit Austerlitz probably is one that I enjoy just that little bit more. But I was intrigued by this game, and as a result decided to purchase it from Second Chance Games, and it's just come in this week. So we can see artwork is lovely, absolutely beautiful. The reverse of the box is the same. So you can see on the back here, you've got a good view of the game. It shows you some of the lovely variations in counters, an overview of the main map, and then you've got the French and British translations which are available for this game. This is the English version. So it confirms their new edition provides a fully revised order of battle and a new map with improved topographic accuracy. So the maps have been redrawn. The rules include all the evolutions of the game system since the original launch of Series 1. The focus remains on morale, attrition, and commitment of formations, divisions, and corps at the right time rather than tactical chrome. So the contents are 4 counter sheets, 1 map in 2 parts, full colour rulebook and playbook, 18 cards, player aids, and a couple of dice. This is regiments with 1 turn taking an hour. Solitaire suitability is a 7, so that's, would point to it being quite solitaire playable. Complexity 4/5, sort of middle of the road, perhaps a little bit easier, so that's good for me. But let's get into the box and see what you get inside. This didn't come shrink wrapped, it came as is. So we've got cards. We'll come back to those in a moment. We've got the rules. So this is the October 22 version, which I believe is available on Boardgame Geek, and that covers all of the games above, which are available from Hexasim. Again, I have looked at Austerlitz as a possible purchase, but I have a good Austerlitz game anyway, which I want to do some work on. Certainly these other two could be potential look at in the future. But the rule book itself, 24 pages, and looking at the back page there, it looks like it is 24 pages of rules. But what you can see there, despite that many pages of rules, there's an awful lot of diagrams, examples of play, but it's all going to need reading quite carefully. And I think, as with all games, probably it's going to be about getting it on the table and pushing a few counters around and working out how the game works from there. But you can kind of see some of the sort of initial counter art is really nice. Leaders involved. Everything is set out really nice with the really important table of contents. So that's the rule book. We've then got the playbook. So I probably will read this before I start even looking at the game itself. That runs to 16 pages. Again, really good, high quality print. Got nice bibliography on there as well. But importantly with this, you've got some players' notes, designers' notes, and then the all-important playthroughs, which I think will be really helpful in kind of understanding how it works. You've got also a bit on alternative history cards for scenario 4. So these are optional and can only be used for the full battle scenario. So that's just an added extra in the game if you so wish, which is the full battle. But you've got these other 3 scenarios, which will be great, I think, for learning the game. So you've got the attack on Huguemont, D'Erlon's assault, and Plancenoit, the Prussian assault on the flank of the French army later in the day. So again, they will add some extra flavour and alternative versions of the game to have a playthrough. So looking forward to having a good read of that. So let's grab out some of this so it's a little bit easier to show you. So we've got a unit identification chart. This looks like for the British on the basis of the flag there, or maybe it's just telling you that it's an English version. But importantly, what it does is just explain exactly what you're looking at in terms of the counters and what they mean, the types and the nationalities. So that's really good. On the back, you've got a terrain effects chart, which again just sort of explains all the various terrains and the movement costs, fire, dice roll modifiers, and melee dice roll modifiers for those. So that's good. Again, good card stock being used there. We've got a melee table. And we've got a fire table. So it looks like a lot of the rules are kind of condensed into these play charts. Hopefully that will mean not too much looking at the rule book once you're on the table. And it looks like you've got a couple of these included in the game, so that's really good. Okay, what are these? So these look exactly the same. It says orders charts. I'm not sure at the moment what that means, but as you can see, they look like they're a smaller, shrunk version overview of the main map. As yet, until I play the game and look at the game, I'm not sure what the red dots mean, whether it's kind of like a point-to-point movement or where units can be deployed within certain sectors. We shall have a look. But we've got 2 of those in the game. Let's refocus that back in, and they look exactly the same. Nothing on the back. So interesting. Okay. Okay. So we've got scenario 1, Huguemont. So we've got this sort of area of the map. Now I'm not sure at this stage again whether this is just an overview, whether this is what we actually play on, to be investigated. And then we show you the main order of battle for the the whole battle, which is really cool. Like that. Similar for Derlon's assault. We've got the troops involved. The coalition order of battle. Lots of information in here. We've got the same for the Prussian steamroller at Plancenoit. And again, order of battle 2 for the coalition, so include the Prussian forces. We've got turn tracks, different starts at different times within the day, different things will happen, and another terrain effects chart, so that's really good. So we've got 2 of those. Lots of information there. Looks like once you're up and running with the game, you're not necessarily going to have huge amounts of referring back to the rulebook, which I like. And then you've got scenario 4 setup. Now this again looks like a mini map. Again, if we close that in a bit closer, so you can see the kind of detail even on this little card mini map. And this would indicate again certain corps divisions will deploy within the zones mapped on this setup map, but I like that. The reverse, we've got the scenario 2 setup, and we've also got the scenario 3 setup. So again, interesting. So scenario 3, we've got numbers, but scenario 2, we've got letters. So again, maybe I'm being a little bit thick, but I'll need to have a good read of that and understand what that all relates to. Oh, this answers the question from the sheet we were looking at before, that this is the actual map for the Plancenoit battle. You can see there, I would imagine these stars must be key points, victory point areas maybe. But that's a nice, not too big a map to play on. And on the reverse, we've got Derlon's assault, scenario 2. So we've got La Haye-Saône, the sandpit, the area here where the heavy cavalry came in on the counter-attack. So that will be interesting to see how that one plays out. We've got some counter sheets. These are all wrapped up in shrink wrap. But you can see again the quality of the print there is really clear, concise information on the counters, very easy to see. Again, we'll have a look at those in a bit more detail shortly when I unpack those. And it continues. We've got maps. So, oh, this is a big map. So this may be part of the main battlefield map. Wow. Yeah, that's big and really lovely. Hopefully you can kind of just unwrap that just to give you a flavour of how that looks. So this side I can tell is only part of the map, because we've got places like Papelotte, Fichemont, and down here Plancenoit. So this will be the French right, the Allied left flank of the field. So this is going to be a big map when you play the full battle. Let's just put that away in a way that it's not going to get damaged, because the maps and the artwork are stunning. And you can certainly see there's a lot of work gone into these maps, and they are gorgeous. The only thing I would say, and I totally understand why it's been done this way, is if you read your history books and if you visit, you will know that the ground and the landscape very seldom is as green as that. Certainly in the battle it was very muddy, but the map, you know, that aside, it's beautiful. You've got Hugomon here, La Haison, and then at the back you've got the rear areas of the field as well, which is really nice to see. So Mont Saint Jean, and then some other places over the back here as well. So you can see there that's a beautiful, beautiful map, made up of, well, I'm gonna have this one. It will not fit on my little table in my room here. That's going to be a full kitchen table setup, and that's going to need a bit of time as well, so I'm going to have to plan my time carefully when I can get that out and play that. A couple of dice. Let's just have a quick look at the cards. As I say, it looks like these are for the main battle and they're only an option, you don't have to use them. Good card stock, again, nice artwork, and these are just look like they're adding a little bit of chrome to the game, without damaging the game course itself. Very nice, nice options. So we'll see on that one. I'm just going to unwrap the counters to finish off and show you some of those. Okay, so I've just undone these so you can have a little bit of a closer look. Really nicely done. Really nicely produced. Sure how we, oh yeah, they come out very, very easily. And importantly, if we just focus on Lambert here, you can see their rounded edges are a good size thickness. You know, they're decent counters. They're going to take a little bit of game punishment without too much problem there. So that's well, it's sheet 4, but sheet 1 of the ones that I've undone. On the reverse, you can see the various artwork there again. There looks to be a lot of counters, but again, I think unless you're playing the main game, it shouldn't be too bad. Sometimes things can get a little bit counter heavy. We'll see how that works in reality. But I say, this game has been around for a while and its original course, so you know, the fact that they've made a second edition, and looking at Board Game Geek, it gets some really good reviews from people, and I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this. Some of the other versions are getting second releases but not upgrades. So Austerlitz, I believe, is getting a reprint, but I don't think there's any change to the actual game, the counter work, artwork, anything like that. Whereas this has had a bit of a revamp, and you know, these look really, really lovely. Pleased to bring you that rather extended, perhaps, unboxing, because there's quite a lot in the box. If you are a Napoleonic fan, particularly perhaps the Battle of Waterloo, then this one probably should be on your radar, looking at the detail. Again, Hexasim are renowned for the detail that they put into their games. You'll see at the top there, Tenka Toyitsu, the samurai game, which is absolutely superb. Again, in terms of historical context and detail. So looking forward to getting this on the table and playing a few games. But I hope you've enjoyed that review. Fallen Eagles 2 from Hexasim, and look forward to seeing you again soon.